Is this, oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me. I don't know how well this is gonna work, guys. Internet's being real crappy. And what just happened? I hit go live and I've been talking for a good minute. And uh I don't know what happened there. It ended the stream somehow. What? Wow. I just told you a bunch of stuff. And apparently it's okay. Anyways, starting over. So, I'm going to stream some really boring stuff here, but I think this is the best way for us to communicate the situation, like where I'm at, what I'm working on, and hopefully you can see by watching what I'm doing here that it's really difficult. Like, nothing is easy. There's no, like, easy fix to things. Like, not to pick on you, Dan, but when you said, can't you just turn off the enemy respawn on relog? That is, oh boy, no. I wish it was that easy. But no, you're talking, it's probably a couple thousand lines of code back and forth between the server and the client. It's very complicated. I am going to work on it, but until I can get reproducible results, like if a player says, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, then the bug occurred. That's what I need. But these random bugs, I don't, I can't do anything. All I can do is reread the code and reread the code and try to see where something is happening. But it's very unproductive to do it that way. So, you know, for people playing the game right now, this is definitely a I mean, we're still early access, so essentially you guys are testing the game. I just figured there's no point in doing any further test phase. I did for about a year, and I realized that okay, I need real world scenarios, so I need real players, and that's where I've found the most. So it's going to take time. I'm trying to get some help. I did find an awesome programmer that I'm excited to work with. So I might have help on that front. And I was trying to explain a minute ago when I thought I was streaming. Oh my god. I swear I hit the button. Uh, so this, for me, you know, on a broad scope, I have to juggle the programming, models, setting them up, animation, configuring that, and a bunch of little things in Unity that, like, Unity is one job itself, right? And then animating is a job, and modeling is a job, and programming is a job. So trying to juggle all these is really, really hard. And I know it's frustrating for the players when you see a bug and it's been there for so long and you're like, why isn't this fixed yet? It's because I'm just one guy. I'm stretched super thin. I've been trying to find help, but I just haven't found the right help, I guess. I don't know what to say there. Uh, so in terms of programming though, the issue of not being able to reproduce the bug, that is the biggest problem. So that's why bugs that you're like, why isn't this fixed yet? It's been there forever. It's because I can't find it. I need an exact formula of how to make that bug occur. And some of them are just not that way. It's very, very, very difficult and frustrating for me because I trust me, I wanna get going. I really plan to be so much further in all this, but by now. But okay, so that's the broad spectrum. But in terms of what I'm doing, like right now, programming, I'm going to make it so that you can only enchant 5 stats out of the 10, and it's really necessary. I know it's probably gonna be something some people don't like, but it's just silly because if you have all these stats, then with me allowing the gear to go higher and higher and higher, which I'm gonna do, and I have to nip this stuff in the bud. I really do. I can't let this go on. Everybody's gonna have max resistance. That's just silly. So I need it to be that you have to pick uh, out of these 10, and you can only have 5. So you pick according to your build. It just needs to be that way. Also, I'm going to have to do diminishing returns to some degree. I don't want to do that on core stats. I call strength, dex, vit, int, con. Those are the core stats. So what I'm doing now, I'm in the middle of doing some optimization of items. This is basically one item on the database, and I know it's not pretty, but when I wrote this, didn't know. I didn't even know what parsing was, and I happened to make my own parser. I wanted to put him in here so I could show the person who had a bird just like this, and he watches YouTube videos. He almost knows how to work a phone. It's really trippy, but he'll watch this other bird who's passed away now, and he's learned tons of these crazy sayings. He can do a little R2D2, and he's got some jokes. So I want to show that person. Like, there's a clone of Disco. His name is Cricket, though. Anyways, so this is one item, and this item has a description, and a description could be like, oh, right, it's right there. So each letter is a byte, and that's a lot of bytes. That's a lot of space, a lot of wasted data. So I'm making basically, it's not a dictionary, it's a list. Kind of works like a dictionary. I'm making this so when we pull an item from the database and we parse it, we can say, okay, is the name of this item in this list? Oh, it is? Well, then just use that description rather than the one on the database. And then going forward, the old one will not be saved to the database. Therefore, we have space. So I started working on that, and I was thinking, because I was thinking I could take that field where the description is in the item, this area here, and use it for the stats, the 5 stats that you're allowed to enchant. Because I need some way to identify what stats have been modified on each item. But then I realized that some items I do want to have a custom description. Luis, answer my English is bad, and published in November 20th, 2019. So it's been a minute. So yeah, this is what I'm going to go with. Now, to anyone who's not familiar with programming, um, hmm, uh, this string, one item, a string is alphanumeric text. We split it by the slashes, and then the slashes get removed. So each slash is a new field. Each field represents a property of the item, right? So I'm going to add a new field at the end, and then when that is parsed, we're going to have this, which is going to also be parsed based on the carets. So that's my plan. And then each of these would identify with a stat. So 2 is vitality. So in this case, let's say this helm of the gods, a random name, there's prefix, suffix. And this one would have vitality, that's the ID for that, intellect, conviction, elemental specialization, and defense. So yeah, that's how we got to do it. I'm going to let him tell us some stories for a minute, and then I'm going to kick on some music. And Yeah, we're just gonna have a boring corn stream. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Um, Dang it, I do need. How am I gonna? Okay, I think I see what I gotta do. Need a new property in the item properties, which would be a string. Just gonna be lazy and copy that. Gosh, I'm still trying to wake up. I stayed up way too late last night. We'll call this, I just had a good name for it, but stats. Well, let's say stat ID. Yeah. Naming is very important. Sometimes I'm very indecisive, but enchanted stats ID. That's what we'll call it. And then I like to give myself an example. Hmm. Alright, so now we have a place to store it. You want a cheeseburger? He says, can I has cheeseburger? Alright, so we split that. Okay, we don't need to split it. So if this is still streaming, what I mean is the items that have the huge stats, all 10 stats, huge armor, they will not be able to have set bonuses. So that, if I prevent items that have stats and properties that are not what I intended for the game, they cannot have or set bonuses, like 2-piece bonus, 4-piece bonus. Maybe a 6-piece bonus gives you damage reduction percentage, whatever. So that will hopefully entice the player with those items to not use the item in favor of getting set bonuses, which will hopefully be a pretty drastic change of your play style and such. Kind of like I'm inspired by Diablo 3 on that, with the set bonuses they have, not to the degree they have. Whew, they have got nutty set bonuses. The monk that I got, the 6-piece bonus, is when I use a certain skill, all of my damage is increased by 15,000. What? They got some weird math in that game. It's very, very weird. But I love how dynamic it can be, you know. So Diablo 3 is very inspirational. My inspiration is Diablo in general, Warcraft, of course, and City of Heroes. I mean, I guess quite a few things, but all right. So we split that. It's greater than 38. Then we set that. Okay, that's right. That's what we needed. That's the decoder. Now we got to make sure it's saved. So we need to encode it as well. Crap. I need to put that over here somewhere. Just so I don't remember, or so I don't forget. So I don't remember. Jeez. Keep telling us stories, Birdie. I want to record you. He'll sit up there and talk for hours, but not doing it right now. I don't know why. And oh, this will be cool. So you still could get an item that has more than 5 stats, which I'll probably have to do something about that, but we'll start here. And if I don't know because I thought I was streaming, but I wasn't. So I might have already said this, but Den, I wanted to show you Trello, number one. I'll show you how to use that. It's real easy. You just make a new board. I have way too many of them, else I would do it, but it's retarded. And then you just make a new list, which is just, where is it? Let me show you my board. And if Den's okay with it, I would like him to, if you have a bug report, and I guess I shouldn't say this yet, but I'm pretty sure we decided he's cool with managing bug reports. So I'd like him to set up a Trello, because man, he had so many things last night. I still got to read through all that. But wow, there's a lot of things I got to fix, and what I want is for him to create a Trello board and then organize priority based uh, bug reports. Anyways, you add another list and then you can just move things around, and I'll just take whatever's on top. You can give it a label, you can name this whatever you want, and then click over here. There you go. You can put stuff in the description, you can change the title right there. And if you want to add another, you just hit that and blah, 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 and enter. And if you want to remove it, you just go archive, delete, done. So hopefully that's something we can get going. Like I need a I know there's a lot of people who want to give feedback, but I need a system in place for that to work. We need some organized manner of doing it. Like I am totally down with listening to you guys. I mean, I still want to do my code that is progressing, adding features and such that are not there. And then when I find out about bugs, then I feel like it's a regression of code because it's stuff I've already done that I have to redo, and then we stagnate and it feels like nothing's being done. That's a lot of what's been going on. But it's a must do, must do it, must be situation because we need those fixed, and eventually we'll have a nice polished setup, and then we can start adding new races and get real serious about zones, and it's gonna be fun. All right, what am I doing here? Keep talking, buddy. You're more interesting than I am. Oh. Enchanted stats ID. All right, so now we've got it added. Yeah. Looks good. Now the tricky part is going to be when you go to Enchanted. I don't think my music's very loud. Yo, what's up, man? I have no idea how to say your name, so I won't even try, but yo. I'm going to turn on a little music, but I really want to record this little birdie yapping. Hopefully that's not very loud. I'll turn it down even more. Alright. Now I need to find exactly where to put this code. Returns. Okay. Alright. We're gonna go copy this because I'm going to use these messages, but what we'll say is, oh boy, this is going to be tricky. Can you call me Gil? Ghoul? Gil? Gil? I don't know. GUIL, because GUI, graphic user interface. That's what it looks like to me. Your graphic user interface type L. Gil. Alright. I'll do my best. Alright, so I'm going to have to... This is what I do when I program. I start commenting and just kind of explain to myself what needs to happen. So first we need to identify... I just realized something. To do, I need to make a way to remove stats. Yeah. Oh. Okay, we got one of those. Cool. Alright, there's bird seed everywhere. Little disco. He's a good birdie. Alright, so we say, I gotta split it. Yeah, I gotta split it right there. Okay, so we have the gem, we know what they're trying to put on. So now we need to get the item enchanted string. Yeah, okay, so if it contains a carrot, then we split it. Never shake a baby bird. That would surely be absurd. That's what he's supposed to say. Alright, so contains it, then we split it. don't like that sound. That's annoying. Do the R2D2. Do that one. Alright, so if it's contained, then we... How am I going to do this? There you go. Tell us about the Inquisition. Little Monty Python reference, I think it was. So for each in there. Dang, this is tricky. You kissed the bird and you liked it? So, straight in that, I need to make sure that's in there. Find it. Oh my gosh, this is tricky. Oof. Shiver me timbers. I don't know if you guys can even hear this, but I think he's funny. Let's see, how long were you on this project? I remember videos from like 3 years ago. Been about 9 years. Oh, and you can hear him talking. That's funny. Yeah, nine years, I think. That's what is going on. It's pretty crazy, but I love it. Sometimes it's really stressful though. In there. No. Okay, wait. I got something. Oops. How am I gonna do that? Dang it, so close. We need to figure out which gem the player is sending to the function that's going to add the stat, which we have the gem, and I believe I used this, so... Gosh, Gosh, do I want to do a big old switch case? Oh, I know there's a better way to do this. Gem ID. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Here we go. That's what I could do. Yep. You can get that cheeseburger. I didn't know he knew that one. Kissed the bird and I liked it. It's funny. Oh, jeez, sorry, buddy. Oh no. I scared the crap out of him. No use to that being right in front of my face. Okay. I should be using a try parse. That's always a good idea. But I want to just get this blocked out and then, test it, see how it works. Still making it up as I go here. So let's reread it. So if it contains caret, then we will split by the caret. And where did I put my example? Well, I'll just copy it again. So when I reread this, or if somebody else reads it, they'll kind of have a visual of what you're seeing here. Now I need to look at this enum. Oops. All right, so yes, I did start at 0. That's good, that's good. So these numbers, I'm typecasting the, I really need to rename that. That should say gem type or something. I don't know. It's not really important. Oh man, seed went everywhere. Sorry, little boy. Sorry about that. So we'll typecast it into a number, and then that number will represent the ID of the stat that the item has enchanted on it. I don't need that open anymore. I still need to fix some things in enemy targeting. Invoke repeating is not good for performance, so I'm going to do it with a timestamp. I don't know what I was doing in here. Oh, this is where I need to do soft caps, diminishing returns. What was I doing in this one? Oh, right. Let me write this down. I know I'll forget. So I've got to item randomizer. When the item is created, it needs to. Well, I don't know. Should it create with 5 stats, or should I allow it to go over 5 stats? So if you get a really good legendary item, then it might have 7 stats. But I am trying to prevent, I want it to be that you only have 5 stats per item, so you're not completely capped on your resists and everything, your block and blah blah blah. But yeah, I guess I'll decide that later. Send the value to the stat. What is all this? Oh, right. I'm just gonna delete it for now. I'll just undo, right? Can I? I can't undo. Really? Fine. Oh, sorry. Can you talk a little bit about finding motivation? If it's not gonna take your focus away, of course. Uh, yeah, the motivation. That's a good question because I don't know what my I don't know how to explain it. I'm a nerd. I like this stuff. It's really interesting because I like games. Obviously, I don't play them as much anymore, so that it's kind of like irony or something. It's like I got into this because I love games, but now I don't get to play the games. However, I would say that making a game is, for me, it's as fun as playing games. So it's interesting. But the motivation would be, if I had to say, I just realized that's a bird hanging out on your shoulder. Yeah, I thought I'd uh, drag him in here, but um, God, that is a good question, Gil. Uh, I don't know. It's fun. It's just been my dream since I was like 8 years old. And back then in 1988, it was not a possibility. So I was always told, like, basically get your head out of the clouds kind of thing, like, oh, you can't do that. Like, literally told, you cannot do that. It takes millions of dollars and hundreds of people. And so it was pretty sad. And then, technology caught up and you can make your own game. So, yeah, I don't know how to explain the motivation. It's just something I enjoy, I guess. Okay, so we're gonna do item randomizer. That one I need to decide, and then the infusing gems is the main thing. It needs to check IDs, I'll say. And then I need to create a way to remove stats, because if I make it to where, I guess, I'm not sure. If I make it to where you got an item, I don't know, maybe you change your spec and you want strength instead of dexterity or something. I feel like we should be able to remove a stat and then add the one that you do want. So I'll do that later. That's not a very big priority, but I feel like I should have that. I'm gonna move your little thing. Do you want back on there? He's such a little guy. Just a little baby bird, huh? That's what he calls himself, his baby bird. Okay. So we typecast that, which give me a number. So if it's strength, for example, get a 0. Now we know that they're trying to enchant strength. Now we take the string, which would be this, let's say 2, which is vitality. I'm kind of doing it like a pretend scenario in my head. And now we've got that turned into an integer, so now we can see if they are equal to each other, right? I guess I could typecast it there, but we'll see. I like to just get the code blocked out and then clean it up. I think that's probably everybody. Everybody does that. Alright, so oops, we need this. So if this is equal to that, then you can add stat. And we'll break, right? That seems to make sense. Break the loop so it doesn't need to continue looping, even though it's a small loop. Still think that's a good idea. Now, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here we would say if, can't add stat. If it's false, that's what the exclamation point means, then we are going to give a message and stop. I got here. God damn it.
One of us might get through and destroy you. But if that glacier passes beyond the river, I will have no choice. I will have to release the lava.
Yeah, we want all this crap. I've heard this song so many times. Oh, come on, tell me a story. Don't just screech. That's no fun. So if it's false, then we're gonna do this. Come on, tell me about the Inquisition. Tell these guys. Disco would do it. I forget even what he says. Something. Oh, I think he says nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. He can say that one really good, really clear. So if this remains false, so it starts false, we loop through all the stats that it currently has enchanted. If we found that stat that you have put on, let's say a strength, then we change it to true. And then when we're down here, if it was false, meaning it didn't find that stat, shoot. No, this is right. This will work. If it didn't find it, then we stop and return false. This is gonna take some testing. Whew. You are a baby bird. Okay, that's starting to make sense. So basically what this means is stop. Item has max allowed and gem trying to enchant a stat that is not, damn it, how would I word this? Trying to enchant a new stat, we'll say that. let's say a different ooh, complicated stuff, guys. Contained in the original chosen stance. Ugh. It's kind of hard to program on stream because it's like you feel like everybody's kind of watching over your shoulder, but I just want people to see what's going on, like how why things take so long. And yes, he is a cute little bird, huh? Good boy. But yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like it's too hard for me to try to communicate with each individual person. So I really just feel this is the best way to kind of convey what's going on and what I'm doing, and I can't stress enough, I gotta go back and forth between a ton of things, but as far as code, I go back and forth between features that need to be added before things get worse, because blah blah blah. Items right now are way out of spec, and then I go back to bugs. Like, I mean, seriously, if I knew what the hell was going on with some of the bugs we're having, I would fix it, of course, but I can't find a way to reproduce it so I can get it to happen when I want it to. Then I can look at the log and figure out what it's doing. But we've got a good chunk of bugs that are happening at random, and that is just how things go sometimes, but I'll find them eventually. All right, does this make sense? I think it does. So identify which stat the player is adding, trying to add, whatever. Really, this whole check here doesn't need to occur unless, number one, we have that character in the string. Number two, oh yeah, shoot, I gotta add it too. Eek. The stat ID plus the caret. That's super important, else this whole system won't work. All right, so see, when you reread it, you think of stuff that you forgot. So if it even has it, and now let's say it doesn't have it, then we just continue on like normal, because that means it's an item that has not even been enchanted. So of course you can do that. Now, I just need to make sure there's no more return false down here. Oh, there is, darn it. Because I need this to kind of basically be the last one. What? Okay, yeah, it's gotta go right here, I guess. The last check, that is. So what's this doing? Random stat, gem ID, yada yada, blah blah blah. Alright, yeah, I think this is where it needs to be. That's another thing, like, you can write perfect code. It's exactly doing what it's supposed to, but you put it in the wrong place and you broke it. So some bugs are that simple. It's frustrating, but last night when I was fixing the armor situation, that was interesting. Luckily, this new friend, programmer, he caught this. But seriously, this letter F right there, that was it. That was the problem. That's why the armor was way off. It's insane. Code is insane. But basically, one of these two numbers in division must be a float. So the F declares this as a float, which I could have typecast that as a float, but whatever. So yeah, there's a tidbit of type of crap I'm dealing with. And 1,000 lines of code is hurting my eyes. What's up, buddy? Yeah, it's. I'm pretty sure it's around 300,000 lines of code altogether, not including the server side. No idea. But yeah, there's a pile of code. Alright, so we have a couple checks that will. You have to check these conditions and make this function stop before we actually add the stats. So that's why this has to be right there. And I need it to be the last one so that if it does succeed, I think I can just add this right here. Ooh, what if you don't improve the stat? No, that's fine. Okay, let's say, ooh, sorry, buddy. This will be temporary too, but we'll say the item that you're enchanting, transmuting, infusing gem, whatever you want to call it. That string, we're gonna plus equal to it, meaning whatever its value is, add to that. Ah, crap. I wonder. Hang on. I got a question. We can take the geometry received. I guess I can do that up there. Maybe this needs to be inside of that. Grr. No, it can be right there. I'll just put this up here. Alright, that should be fine. Right where I declare that variable. Okay, so we will add concat to the string. Let's assume it says 2 caret 3 caret. Then we're going to add a new number, which would be the gem ID received, and now it's going to go back to a string plus the, I like a space there, the caret. Yeah, I think we got that. So, well, I got a question. What's this say? I think. Wait, what did you say? I think the bird is wondering what's going on. Yeah, he's he's stupid-vising me. That's what he's here for. He's making sure I don't do something stupid. But he's not doing a very good job, huh? Come on, tell these guys about the Spanish Inquisition. You getting sleepy? You want a cheeseburger? He always says that. Can I have his cheeseburger? And where's the bird, the real programmer? That's exactly it, dude. Exactly. You nailed it. Hey, do you know? I mean, anybody. If I split a string, this string specifically, and there is a caret there, is that gonna give me a null ref right here? I feel like it would. Because it's like, it's empty. Or, I don't know what would happen. But I guess I could count how many are existing. Shoot. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Exactly, Jacob. He says that. It's pretty funny. He's got some weird stuff that he says. He might be done for the day. I don't know. Which is weird because he'll sit up there for hours just yakking. Huh, Disco. I call him Disco because that's where he learned all of his stuff, but his real name's Cricket. Oh man, how would that work? Danny, you gotta know. If we have a string and we split it, maybe it'll be easier to look at over here. So if this is our string that we're going to split, and I'm concatenating to it every time the caret, so on the very last stat that we add, it would have a caret, but now when you split that string, we've got this empty space. Is that going to cause a null ref with my for each loop? Is that going to cause it to loop 6 times? That really is, I know. But I guess I could just give it a go because I feel like it should be fine. Like if it's empty, right? But otherwise, I have to. I suppose I could. Well, that's only if it's greater than or equal to 5. I'd have to do a loop or something through characters in the character array. I don't know. I'm gonna try it for now. And I'll just put a little note here. May need to. I can't do it before it, can I? If this is the last step before adding the caret. Alright. Now, I'm not ready to test yet, am I? So we got it on the encode, put it in the encoder. So when you save out to the database, it's going to make it look like this, because this is one item, and I know it's ugly. I get a lot of crap for that, but I wrote it probably 5, 6 years ago, probably 7 years ago. I don't know, but I made up my own little parsing system here. Splits this string apart based on the forward slashes. So this new addition to the item will look like that. So yeah, saving out. This is our item encoder. Good to go. Now, when you log in, we have to decode that, which let me double check. I think it's that one was pretty easy. Okay, if it's negative and greater than 38. Yep, okay, good. Good to go. And now the next step in the process would be to enchant it. So now this is going to be the, yeah, this is the part we got to test. So now I'm going to read through it one more time. If it contains the caret, then typecast that, make a new array, split it. So it could be any number, it could be a length of 1, 2, or 5. But only when it is greater than or equal to 5 do we need to stop the player if they're trying to put a stat on that does not, that's not allowed, because the max is 5. So if it is not that and the length is 2, then good, right? So I almost don't even need to split that. Well, I do need to split it just to get the count. What is your deal? You bored? I know, it's pretty boring, buddy. Okay, so yeah, I think this is good to go, but now let's read this chunk again. So when it is at max stats, then we start off false, loop through all 5, take the string, and parse it, and now check what's in there. Oh, wait, I think I missed something. Yes, dang it, I missed something. Or wait, no. That's right, that's right. So we check this integer against that integer. I guess I could just have left it a string. Whatever. And then if it is a stat that you've already enabled, whatever, then we're good. I think he wants to go upstairs. He must be thirsty. What are you thinking, buddy? Yeah, I'll take him up in a second. So if we do find it, then we break the loop, and then we check. Because if it remained false, that means it did not find the stat, so that stat was not allowed. Give the player a sound for feedback, give them a message on the screen, and then a message in the chat window. Alright, looks good. Let's save it out. And test, I guess. I feel like I missed something. I had to have missed something. Let's see. Dude, honestly, I haven't programmed in 3 years. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. The only programming I've done lately is in Houdini. Oh, that's such a cool program. Either mainly Blueprint, UE4, Little Houdini. Nice. Let's get a dry beak. Yes, he does. He needs a drink. Uh, yeah, dude. Blueprints, UE4. That is very effective tool. It's really awesome. They do have visual scripting, by the way, in um, Unity. There's a couple plugins, but I like to get in the text and actually, you know what I mean. Okay, let me take him upstairs. I'll be right back. Okay. Man, this headset is so weird. It just beeped at me like 20 times. Have you guys heard that? I don't know. It wasn't really 20. Got a cheap old headset here. The other one broke. Okay. And my mouse broke too. Man, I hate having to buy new stuff. Trying? What you talking about? I already done made a Morpeg. MMO. I mean, it's, that's the thing. It's like the biggest problem. You could make all the things in an MMO, but it's not an MMO until it's massive multiplayer. So that's a thing you can't really program. It either is or is not. All right, let's see what we got. And I'm logging into a test server here, so there won't be anybody online. I probably should just log in the main server, but why don't I do that? Oh no! Okay, I broke something. So we don't see our character here because it pulled from the database and it was trying to parse, but it failed because I added this new thing to the end of the string. Hang on, the new programmer guy just messaged me, so I want to see what he said. I get some free time. I need the math for the item stat calculation, so I can. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see in the log. I thought that would handle it because I checked if it was longer. Dang it. So we know it's in the parser. I already knew that. Item decoder. And it's line 631, or so it says. And there we are. Yep, line 631. So, oh, see, I said that earlier. Duh. Oops. I forgot. Yeah, so I'm trying to reference something that is not in the scene yet, so I need to decide on this. How do I want to deal with this? And yeah, that's a whole different issue. That's the description update optimization thing that I'm doing. Easiest way to fix that is just put a prefab in the scene. Yeah, I'm gonna go easy mode. I got too many things that are hard to do. I don't need more. So it's trying to access a list from an object that is not in the scene yet, so that explains why it broke. All right, so what we'll do is create a new little dummy object in here. Give me that. There we go. And no, okay. Oh crap! there might be something else to this. Dang it. Item description. I always forget how to spell that word somehow. Alright, so, oh, hang on. I already had it. I already prefabbed it down here. So we'll take this, pop it in the scene. It has the script that we're trying to access with the descriptions. This is just to save all these characters because each character is a byte, and that's a lot of bytes, and it adds up. And every time you save, you're sending a big old chunk of text across the server, and it does end up, it costs money. So at a certain point, and Amazon, wow, they have this Amazon Web Services, AWS, and I was using that for years, and it was like about 40 bucks a month. And then when I launched it in November, in 10 days, the price was $220. So basically, times that by 3, we're looking 650 probably ish on average, but maybe 6. Yeah, whatever. That's insane. So I got this other server that's more around 100 depending on bandwidth and stuff being used. So yeah, that's why we need to get these descriptions out of the string. Unless it's an item that I really need that for. Let's say, okay, how did I do this? I did a do not destroy on load somewhere in here, maybe? Where'd I put it? Maybe it's not in here yet. Could put it in the character selection scene. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll just do this. Do not destroy, unload. A little script I made. It's like a one-liner, but it's easier to just do that. And we'll save this scene. Ooh, and before I forget, I need to put that in the other scenes. I suppose I could have dynamically just spawned it. Meh. That's an idea. So in here we need a start function. So we're gonna go void start. Oh, it got the thing for me, and I still hit the button. So and also we need a static public a version of itself. So the type is the same type of the class, and I'll call that instance. And because it's static, the item decoder will be able to access it even though it's not in the same script. So instance equals this script. Yeah. Oh wait. Why did I put that there? I want it down here. Not that it matters, but you end up getting like real picky about your code. It's stupid. All right, so now we've got a way to access it. Now over here, we're gonna just refer to it item descriptions. That is the class, correct. Instance, what do you want from me? That? Is that right? Is that what we want? Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, okay, got it. Now if it does not destroy on load, and that gets passed from one scene to the next, we should be fine. Let's see. I'll just try it. Oh, but don't forget to put it in the other scenes. Damn what? Thank you. I don't know why that volume slider just gets stuck on the last little 5%. It's either on or it's stuck at like 5%. Okay, what's gonna happen? Aha! It did work. Nice. So we'll go to the next step, but let me look at my debug log. I want to see if I added that to a list. I think that's how I did it. Aha! Yeah. Cool. That's good. I like when things work. And let's see what happens. this message was oh, okay, perfect. See that right there? The enemy freaking worked. Hang on, I'll explain in a minute. So I don't know if you just saw the enemy dissolved. So when you enter into a zone, instance or whatever, you send a message to the server and request a list of IDs, enemy ID numbers. That gets sent back, we split it, we loop it, and for each in there we say, okay, for each enemy in the scene, zone, instance, whatever you want to call it, it's a Unity scene. If that enemy's ID matches the ID that we pull from the server, then that unit must die and dissolve. So I really cannot see how in the hell this is happening where you log out, you log back in, and the enemy's still there. I can try to explain it further, but I don't think anybody really cares to go deeper than that. It's just, trust me, it's hard. There's an actual game behind all this code. Yeah, I mean, it's got its problems, but I'm getting there. I will fix them. I do not know the meaning of give up. That is not a thing I know how to do. Did I already kill this guy? I thought I killed him. You know, let's test the new armor stuff again. Can never test enough. So we should be looking. I'm gonna look for armor and figure out what range the armor is. We shouldn't see more than like 338 on a piece of armor. I don't know why I'm buffing. I'm just gonna use the GM kill command. Oh no! Now that's a problem. He's only level 150, which means... Ah, crap. That means the server... Well, that's why we test. So the server needs to save the new bonus difficulty level. So it needs to save... Sorry, I'm writing this down. And set... Damn. Well, I mean, I guess that's not a huge problem. You know, like, players gotta work with me a little bit here. If you log out of an instance and you log back in, say your instance was set to level 250, and you log back in, it will be 150, apparently. I just found out. So, yeah, just be aware. I mean, you can totally work around that. Why did he just go in a circle like that? That was dumb of him. Now that is a bit loud. He did hit me really hard at first. That's a whole another tricky thing that I gotta figure out. Okay, I'm just gonna kill him, screw it. And then they will get me because there's all 6 of them at once. But I'm just gonna kill, and then... See, it's even a pain in the butt to test when you do have GM commands. But yeah, you can teleport when you're dead. I need that to work. And then I just go over here and this. Dang, now I can't fly because I'm in combat. Should have done that in reverse. Ooh. Thought I could fly at that moment, but I couldn't. Alright, so And let's see how the repair bill is holding up. Oh, that's not enough. I just died. It should be more than that. Oh, right. I've got some whack items. Okay, never mind. Most of my items don't have value because I just created them. They weren't created the way it should be in game. Alright, what do we got here? Checking the log. And what do we see? Okay, 312, that's within range. And you know what I just realized? I don't think the armor is um, adjusted based on the quality, like green, blue, purple, orange. Dang it. Yeah, definitely not. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me because you could get a white item that's very cheap, like maybe it's worth like 50 silver, which means when it does get damaged, it's very cheap to repair it because that's what the repair bill is based on. So if you have a legendary drop, it's going to cost more to repair it, even though you can take a white item that, let's say, has really good armor, because it can, apparently. Wasn't intended, but you could enchant the crap out of that till that becomes legendary, and then it will be a cheaper repair. And shoot, I just realized another issue. Wow. Um, I'm gonna have to change the threshold. Let's write it down. We'll lower stat threshold for um, quality. That's what the word I'm looking for. So the way it works, when you enchant an item, you add a stat to it. It's it's calculating all these stats. So we got strength, con, runic, divinity, defense on this one. It adds up all those numbers and then it checks it compared to what the threshold should be for a level 153. And when it gets past a certain point, it'll upgrade that purple into an orange, which allows it to have even more stats. So, like say a green might allow for 150 of a stat, strength or whatever, but a legendary should allow for somewhere around 250. So, yeah. It's crazy with programming. You fix one thing and you gotta fix another thing because it broke. You fix something and it breaks another thing. It's crazy. Oh, I wasn't fast enough. Oh, nope, there's some loot. And what about this? Oh, and the levels were correct that time, I do believe. Okay, that's within range. Alright, so that's good. It doesn't matter if I loot anything because this was on the junk server. Yeah, see, I guess I do need to keep testing on the junk server so I can actually play for real on the real server. No, wait, we gotta test more things. Let's see. I guess let's try enchanting. I gotta think in my head how this is supposed to work. What I should see. Let's grab some of those too. So we're going to add a stat. We're gonna open the Philosopher's Shard. Let's take one of these items we just got. We'll say that one because it has exactly 5 stats. Now it does not have strength, so let's try to add strength. I gotta get a couple more of those. And we will see. If I did it right, this should stop me. Jeez, is it gonna? Oh, it's not gonna. I just realized. Nope, that's gonna pass. Oh, we got an old ref though. Uh-oh. Well, that's bad. Yeah, okay. Oh, I know what it is. Crap. Alright, let me log out right there. Uh, yeah, I just realized it will still allow... Oh, and by the way, see, I can't exit game. It won't save because that null reference broke the process, so the code below that cannot run because it stopped right there. So null references are like your worst enemy. So that means I'll probably be saved out somewhere else. It won't keep me where I was trying to log out. All right, so a couple things here. Number one would be, no, it's in this one. Yeah, right here. So I'm saying, okay, let's check this string and see if it contains a caret. But the problem is, there isn't a string. So you're trying to check something that is null. Oh, and Gene Latham? Why, hello? But yeah, you see what I mean? Like, if you said, look in the box, but there is no box, then that means I'm referring to something that is null and void. It doesn't exist. So what we do there is we add a, oh, what did I just do? Oh, I shouldn't put that macro on my mouse, I guess. Yeah, we'll add a check before it that says if the item, you know what, I don't need to do that. I'll make it make it part of the same if statement. So we'll say if this is not null or empty. So we start with a exclamation to say false. So we want to make sure that is false. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that's right. Right? Sounds right. So it's going to check this one first. And if this is true, that it is null or empty, then it won't check this, which means it will not null reference. So if I put this one in front of that one, it would still null reference. But okay, so as long as that is false, we know there's something in that string. It's not empty, therefore we can check if it contains the caret. Now what to do about the other part though? Because what's happening is that item with its 5 stats, I was trying to put strength on, but the item when it's created doesn't put anything in the stat IDs. I'm trying to think if I should do that. I don't think I should. But then oh crap. I might have to. So what was happening, it's already got 5, and then the player is allowed to put 5 on, but it doesn't care which one they are, so then I just defeated the whole purpose I'm going for here, which is to make items only have 5 stats. Damn it. Alright, alright. Yep, they gotta be created with the thing. And that means players don't get the choice if the item... Damn it. Okay, it's a work in progress. And I am going to, I guess I'm really going to have to make a way to remove a stat. So, like say that item has dexterity, and I'm going to need a way to remove that so the player can put on strength. Because that would suck. You get an item that's like just perfect, but you need strength instead of dex. Though I suppose that's how most games really work. So I don't know. I like doing things different though. Hmm. Hmm. I think it'd have to be right here. If the final stat is greater than 0, then we will add to the item. Do we have access to the item? We must, yes. So we'd say item dot enchanted stat ID plus equal. Hell. Now I gotta figure out what stat it's on. Oh, I can use I, right? Yeah, I dot toString plus the caret, which I feel like that's gonna null ref. Putting a caret at the end, and that's the item I'm splitting by. That's probably gonna null reference. All right, so now it's gonna go through. It loops through 10 stats. So this for loop is going to run 10 times. And I is the thing tracking it, so it starts at 0 and then adds to itself each time the loop runs, right? Now, I'm going to use that as the identifier because strength is ID 0. And yeah, incrementally that's just how I set it up, so that works. However, what I just did in the stat enchant thing was saying that you can re-roll a stat if that stat is it's been declared on the item, and if it has not and there's already 5, then you can't add that stat. So the problem here, I know this is really boring crap, guys, but you know, you want to know where things are at, you got to see how this works. And it's it gets boring, but I still like it. I feel like it's a puzzle, you know. Anyways, so what would happen here is we could potentially end up with all 10 stats, meaning the player could re-roll any one of them. Now, would that be bad? Kinda isn't. Hmm. Um. Hmm. That means I gotta change something in the pouch manager, though. Ah. That might work. And that would give me a way to control this caret, so I don't gotta worry about that null reference. You know, I'm gonna type it out and then see what it looks like. Copy that, go back here. So we could actually say if I now, because it's doing it for each stat. Oh crap. That doesn't solve that. Shoot. No, that doesn't work. Damn it. I guess I could just maybe put a space in there so it is not null. Nah, nope, that would screw shit up too. Yikes. You're rigging a vehicle suspension for your game while listening, so it's motivating. Nice. glad I could help, man. I have tried that once before, the vehicle suspension. That is some tricky stuff, dude. It's really interesting though. Are you wait, were you yeah, UE4 I guess. I don't know how that one works, but it was interesting to see how Unity dealt with the physics of it. But I have never done that. Unless we unless we want like an old medieval horse and carriage, and then we could get fancy with the suspension. That would actually be kind of cool as a mount. And then people could ride in it. Oh man, I like that idea. Damn it, I just made more work for myself. Okay, I'm gonna put it in here, but I don't know if I'll do it for sure. But horse and damn me, as a mount that others can ride in as well. I like the idea. I had to get a new cheap mouse, and this is I don't know. It's a little weird and clunky. Working in 3DS for the modeling. Nice. That'll be fun. Steam powered. Oh, a little steampunk action, huh? I mean, I guess, yeah, they did that in medieval times. That was a technology back then, right? Steam powered. No, I don't think they got into the steam engine stuff until like late or 1800s. I don't know. Probably somewhere in the world they knew how to do that. I'm trying to be somewhat accurate to history, but obviously we didn't have demons that we know of, and we didn't have people throwing fireballs that we know of. But maybe they really could. Maybe sorcerers were real, you know? Could be. Hmm. Son of a. Do. Oh, crap, that's another thing. No way. Okay, item is created. That string should be blank. Then we plus equal for each stat. Blah, 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 blah. If only if it's greater than 0. Maybe I should just add each one. It'd be a total of 20 characters, though. And I'm trying to get the character count down. But if I add each one, that gives me the ability to prevent the null reference. Nah, because then there's no way to determine. Damn it. Alright, we'll try this. So it's going to add to the string only when a stat rolls successfully. So on that previous item, we'll look at it again, strength was not on that item, which means it would not add the strength ID. The string would start at the next ID number. So, and then when you go to enchant it, if that string is 5 or greater, then the one that you're trying to enchant must be in that list. Yeah, damn it. That really does mean that if you got an item that came with 10 stats, you can still enchant all 10 of them. Urgh. That's what I was trying to prevent. I mean, this is still a good, it's a step in the right direction, but best mount ever. Yeah, dude. For sure, magic solves the problem. Dude, it does, right? I mean, anything can be explained with magic. It's awesome. What was the other problem I was saying we were gonna have? Does that pretty much fix it? I want to debug that last slot too. How do I want to do that? Could debug the count. Couldn't hurt. So greater than that could occur. For each in there. See, right here is where it would probably null ref. So I'd have to do something like, should I do this? I don't know. It won't break anything, but count equals 0. And at that point, I might as well use a for loop versus for each loop, but whatever. And we will say if count is greater than or equal to 4. I think. the length would be 5. Yeah, I think it's got to be greater than or equal to 4. Then we stop. I'm just going to put a debug here though, because I'm not convinced that's correct. And then the count goes up once it's done its thing. So plus plus adds 1. Now, put a little note here. So we don't get a null ref on the last split since after the... This is kind of sloppy, really. Sorry, guys. I mean, yeah, you kind of just block it out, throw it down, come back, clean it up. You know, you got to get it working first. So, yeah, debug it. I want to see if it does actually null ref. And I guess you would just do a break if we did want it to stop. Yeah, something like that. Shit. Well, damn it! This right here is gonna throw it off. If you get an item that drops with 7 stats, then we have to check. Does that work? Yeah, something's not gonna work as intended right here, but we'll get back to that. Let's just try to... Oh, son of a bitch. I almost think I should just do it regardless. Good hell. Okay, coming back to that. Now, doesn't really matter. Whatever. What do we got? Oh, that null ref I don't care about. What kind of item sets are you changing? All of them or just certain ones? Basically what I'm doing is I want it so that the player has to choose. You can't just enchant all 10 stats. That's silly. Didn't really, I guess to some degree I didn't think about it, and on another end I just wasn't concerned about it yet, but now I didn't realize how good you guys are, and like you guys tear through stuff and then you max out your gear. But if a player has all 10 stats, then you're gonna have all your resistances capped, and you know that shouldn't be the case. You should have to pick and choose what you're specializing in. So yeah, whoops, wasn't supposed to be the case. So now we gotta fix it. I guess I could just do it right here, huh? You know, I don't remember. Okay, yeah, I did deal with that. All right. Oh man. Okay, we'll use this one because it has 5 stats. Oh, no, I do have that. Sweet. Alright, trying to add a strength gem. We have 5 stats. What do you think's gonna happen? I think it's gonna stop it and prevent it, and that's what we want. Successful. Damn. Damn you. Alright. Well, if that happened... Oh, wait a minute. This item was created without the new thingy-majigger. Okay, there's still hope. Let's go find another item that we can enchant. Boom, boom, boom. Where am I? Ah, right. Hey, did that save to the server? It better have. Yeah, okay, good. I'm just gonna cheat and fly. Looks like I went this way and killed those guys. So we'll go this way. Oh no! Oh, this is what people were talking about. Aha. So the boss is dead, but the gate is closed. Let me write it down. That might be an easy fix. And that's only going to occur if you leave the dungeon and come back in. So really isn't a huge priority, but I will see if I can fix it quickly. Boss 1 dead. Relog equals gate closed. Bummer. Alright, that'll be it shouldn't be too hard, but that only on relog or zone out? Yes, that's only if you log out and back in. Or actually, no, you're right. If you zone, same diff. Yep, you don't have to exit game. You could just be going back out to the blood marsh and you're still going to have that. However, since we are in the editor, I could either just simply disable the gate or I could teleport myself manually. So we'll just, yeah, I'll just teleport myself. So I just select my dude, and then in Unity you can just hold Control Shift F as in frame, and then it drops him there. So, good enough. Blah, blah, blah. These quests need to be tested further. And I need to grab this body armor. Oh, I'll have to ask this new guy, Farrell. I'm really trying to get help. I've got, I don't know, 5, 6 people I'm talking with, trying to coordinate with. It's just difficult to get everything in order, the objectives and such. Alright, give me some loot, guys. It's kind of hard to see the loot while they're dissolving, huh? I mean, again, low priority, but... Oops. Man, that model is like 70,000 polys. That is bad. I don't know. I guess I don't gotta do anything about that, but you could probably decimate it and then re-project if y'all wanted to. It's fixable, because you shouldn't have a 70,000 poly enemy. But I did it because it was only $1. So, can't beat that. Give me some loot, people. I need to see. Okay, there's something. And of course it was a white. Okay, we could try that one. That one. That one. And we'll use these gems. That might be a good one. dropped with all 10. Crazy. That should be pretty rare, but I've noticed that a lot of the things I thought were going to be rare happen a lot more than I had imagined or planned for. Like, orange items drop way more than what the numbers say, so I must have done something wrong. Alright, let's see. Hang on, I want to see that one again. What was it? That's crazy. This axe dropped with every single stat. Got some low rolls, but that's still pretty interesting. In fact, I want to see what would happen. So it went 160 to 199. Let's re-roll again. Okay, so it does go to 230. Alright, good enough. Need to clone a few more of those. Alright, where's something with exactly 5? Perfect. No dexterity, so we'll try dexterity. What's it gonna do? Let me clear the log. Ah! No ref. That red line down there. I call it a null ref, but in this case it was not. It wasn't a null reference, but same diff. Okay. Well, it didn't add the dexterity, so I guess that's kind of right. Alright, back to the drawing board here. Oh man, it broke the save again. Meh. Alright. Wow, 1.99 speed. Yeah, oh, I wasn't even looking at that. Is that what it was? Maybe you need to take another look at that part of item generation. Okay, let's see what the error was. You can actually just double click it, either down there or in the console. I wasn't looking at that, but okay, we did get our debug of greater than or equal to 4, which means that we did get into that block. We'll take a look in a second. Oh. This one is not going to point me anywhere because it's a whole different deal. Damn it. Alright, but yes, see right here, we've got that debug, which means the count did exceed 4. Well, I guess didn't exceed it because I put the equals, and that item had what would be 4, because you start counting at 0, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is actually 5. Okay, so I probably shouldn't have put that in there. Yeah, I'm not decided on that block yet. Not sure if we should stop at 5 or... I suppose you should have the right to edit any stat that the item comes with, so... Yeah, I guess I don't need that. Alright, let's see what this was. So, the format was not correct. That is what I was talking about earlier with the I should do a try parse versus a parse. So I think I know where that's at. From numbers or string to number. When was that? That was right when I tried. Yeah. That could have been the empty slot that I was thinking is going to be a problem. Dang it. Oh, that really might be it. So I could do a try parse here. That would probably be fine. Because it'll return true or false, so if it couldn't parse it, then it doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think that might be the way to go, just because it's going to be really complicated to determine the length of a string that needs to be split when it's always going to be random. So that's going to be really annoying to fix. So yeah, we'll just do a try parse. So what we do is remove my note to myself, pop that down there, start at 0, and not a period. There we go. Now we say, do I want to encapsulate that? I think I do. First, but then it won't break, so yeah, whatever. If int dot try parse, and now we need the thing plus the output, and stat already, yeah, already enchanted. Then we need one of those and a couple of these. Still keep the count. Save. Alright, I just want to look at it one more time. So for each string, make an integer. Try parse the string, output it there. If it's true that that was parsed, then check to see if it matches. You know, ugh, I am a goofball. I could simply just put the other one to string. This would probably work, but as an alternative, which would have probably been smarter, would be to just not bother parsing it. It's already a string, and simply put this one to string. So it's funny. Oops. I could probably do exactly this. Oh yeah, that's not declared yet, so it'd be like that. Yeah. Ah, I hate when I do dumb shit. Okay, that I probably won't need, so I'm gonna push it back so it stands out to me. I mean, yeah, that's less. Yeah, that's better. Can't argue it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you ever think you're going to add like unique items, like rare response? Yes, yes. I was talking a little bit about that earlier. So, because items can have all 10 stats, and the armor issue that I wasn't aware that that was messing up, and yeah, oops, missed it. So we have items that have all 10 stats, and they have way more armor than was ever intended. So the way I'm looking at it, I'm always going to try to not have to wipe the database. Because people put in time and effort. I'm gonna do my best to not have to do that. Even though I've gotten criticism for not doing it, I feel like most players appreciate that I haven't done that. So, point is, the way I'm thinking we deal with items that are way overpowered, that are in the game, is whoever has those will wind up having to make a choice between uh, that item or an item new items that have set bonuses, and those set bonuses are going to be pretty important, I do believe. So that will entice them to not use the item that's way out of range and pick up set bonuses so that you can go that much more into in depth of how your character is played and such. So that's kind of my philosophy on most things. Um, Rather than wiping the server or wiping the database, I'll just come up with an alternative that negates or renders the item or thing in question pointless. So yeah, am I going to have unique items? Definitely. So I'll have, like, for right now, there is a sword that drops from the boss at the end of this dungeon, and that was kind of just a in passing quick thing that I did. Um, but yeah, so I've got one, but I will add a lot more. And uh, me and my new programmer buddy were talking about. We had a bunch of good ideas last night, and we were discussing how important it is for players to be able to look at another player and say, "Oh man, you got that weapon? Oh geez, so I know you I know you had to have done this fight because that's the only place that weapon drops." And then you instantly got respect for that player. You know they're good or whatever, right? I love that aspect. And it also kind of gives you an idea if, like, when I do get PvP in a reasonable state, um, I got to deal with the scaling of items first and then see where I want to draw the line. But in PvP, you could look at somebody and say, "Oh crap, he's got that weapon, oh, or that shoulder, or whatever," so you'll know what to expect. And even more so, when items have set bonuses, you'll be able to see, "Oh, he's got that sword and that sword, so I know he has this set bonus." And maybe it's like a mana drain thing, so you're like, "Ah, crap, he's gonna drain my mana," so you go into the fight with prepared. Yeah, you know what I mean. Hey, what's up, Kalen? Cool cats and kittens. I think server wipe wouldn't be a bad thing as long as if maybe there was a way you could give a token to people who have a level. Yeah, I've talked about that a lot with different people, and yeah, there's if I do have to do a wipe, the database wipe, I will do everything I can within reason to reward the people who put in the effort. Like, for sure, you'll have um, something. I'm thinking uh, I could probably pre-prepare and uh, just run something on the database that will go through everybody's characters, and if you had a level 100, it will um, put you into another table, and then we just restore it. I mean, there's tons of things I could do, but the big one that I'm going to need help with is the Steam API. Man, that stuff, to be honest, it's over my head. I am self-taught programmer. I'm not the best. And they've got this really complicated callback that is confusing. What I need it to do, though, is if I did a wipe for the people who have purchased things in game, it needs to be able to call Steam, however you want to think of it, get your Steam inventory, your purchases, send it back to the server, and then it's going to reinstate those items on the callback. So it's not gonna be fun. I've tried a couple times to write it, but I'm not fully understanding their callback system. It is. They got some crazy code. Some good programmers over there. All right, attempt number, what are we at? 4? What's it gonna do? Let me clear the log. Ah, wow. Yeah, work. Cool. That is what I expected. Is not sure if it's what I wanted, but yeah, I think that works. Haha. So, to kind of explain what's going on here, I put a dexterity gem in there, and it's going to try to take essence. Did it take essence? Ah, shit. And it's going to use this and one of those, so it'll, and then it will add the dexterity as a stat. However, we have 5 stats: strength, vit, LE, divinity, and defense. So it's already at the cap. And unless dexterity was already in there, I'm not allowing you to put it on there. So whatever the item drops with is what you get. Unless it's a white item that has no stats, and now these become more valuable, because then you get to choose what stats go on the white item. So that's kind of cool, little bonus there that I didn't think about, but white items are more valuable than they were. So yeah, let's try it again. Oh, dude, it did take my essence. Damn it. How am I going to fix that? Okay, okay. Whatever. I'll fix that. Let me try something with more than 5. And this one has dexterity, so this one should be allowed. But it did. I don't. What? Failed to improve. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's just a low roll. But it allowed it. Okay, that time it successfully improved the stat, so good deal, good deal. Yeah, sweet. I love it when stuff works. So we gotta prevent it from taking essence. I thought that was done after this bit. So what about wipe 10 stat items? Oh, well, I mean, yeah, but if I did that, jeez, I don't know. I don't know, Gene. I probably shouldn't even brought it up because it's not. I just want you guys to know I'm going to do my best to preserve things because there's a lot more up here, like a lot more progression that's coming. So the items that you have right now will not be as good as the items that you will get. So what's the point of wiping them, you know? And I don't want to take away from what people have earned. Yeah, I remember in EQ OA, I don't know what that means, but there were like a certain camps that could only drop certain items, and you could spend like 2-3 months farming that item. It was always something fun to do. Yeah, I gotta love farming. Oh, by the way, our new programmer friend is gonna be working on some crafting system for you guys. I'm excited. I didn't want to do it because I'm not into crafting. But that just reminded me. Uh, Somehow the enemies. There's some enemy types that broke. Let me write this down. Trust on E unit. Faction broke. So there's. I'm going to have little camps of enemies, but they might be on your faction, so they won't attack you. But then if I come in and I'm on the opposing faction, they will attack me. So yeah. Oh wow, very nice. Upgrade 2 items right there. Yeah, dude, for sure. Uh, so yeah, I don't know why that broke. It was working. And speaking of factions, I will explain that later when I feel like I've caught up on some content and hopefully got some people in place to help. That's when I could start fleshing out some of the stuff. I guess it's already there. It's just not something I've been able to show you guys. Like for example, let me see. There's thing. There is a story behind the chaotic good, chaotic evil. They're actually not even called that. There's names for them. I don't want to. I'm not gonna explain it right now because there's still some undecided bits. But I want to show you something. Where is it? So there's that one. So that's the light bearers, the chaotic good symbol. And you can see from a distance, it looks like it's just it looks like a skull with wings, but it's actually two priests praying, putting candles together. And I love doing that dual image thing. It's pretty hard, but I like that. Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I didn't know if I put that video on private or not. There's a couple that I did. There's one that I had to because I accidentally showed some people's info on the Discord or something. I am not a good streamer, tell you that. I don't know where I put the Lilith one. And it's such a bummer that Diablo made Lilith after 20 freaking years. They finally decided to put Lilith in the game. I was all excited, like, yeah, I got an original idea that they haven't done. No, they did it. They beat me to it. Dang it. I thought it was in this folder. There's a bunch of my drawings. There's a bunch of crap in here, but it's not in here. I don't know. I guess it doesn't. Oh, yeah, sort of it. This was the original. It was going to be Gaia, and oops, it opened over here. And there's like butterfly wings, but it makes a skull in the background. And she was going to be blind, but has roots for fingers, and she's rooted to the ground, so she can feel you, and her roots would attack you. So if you move, she knows where you're at. But if you stand still, she doesn't, and there'd be different phases of the fight, and blah, 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 blah. So I took that idea and made Lilith, an image of Lilith. And God, I feel like I gotta find it now that I babbled about it. How the icons are like. Wait, how the icons are like them bowing? Yeah. Yeah, because they're the light bearers. They're following Satan. Because he is the light bearer, the bearer of light, Lucifer. So they've been fooled by Lucifer, is the idea. And they think they've sided with the good guy, you know what I mean? Because that's kind of what he did in the Bible. And I'm not going to go into biblical God crap. It's just, I'll go into all sorts of demons and stuff from the Bible, but I ain't touching that religious. Nah. Too many people get crazy about that. Huh. What? No? Yeah, whatever. It's friggin' somewhere. Doesn't matter. Alright, why are we using essence? Oh wow, I've been streaming for like 2 hours, 15 minutes. I'm gonna kill it here in a minute. Trying to think. Yeah, I guess I could push this build. And if Lazy Lion's Den is watching, I deleted the chest. Oh, damn, that would be a fun boss fight. Yeah, it really would, huh? I think that. Oh man, I want to do that. I also got a plan for the Hellhound. It eats corpses. It heals itself unless you can DPS down the corpse pile. And so many ideas, but need help. I'm drowning in this stuff. Aha! Well, that is what I've done right there. Which means... Okay, maybe this can go right above that. Yeah, that might work. I think this is why it's taking it. I'm tracking it, and then when it completes, yeah, that might do it. Let's try it. And I guess I really don't need this crap, so yeah, I'm gonna commit to the string. I better put a note in here. Yeah, it's a good enough reminder. Alright, and return if it has too many. I better try one with 4 stats, and then I better try one with. Yeah, I'll have to try quite a few things, I guess. See, this is where I'll do these tests, but then I need more people to test because there's just things and conditions that I didn't think of or whatever. I'll be right back. This headset is weird. It goes like boop 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 boop, some shit like that. Weird. Okay, this will be the last test. Then we'll do a build, push it, and then you guys get a patch if you want to check it out. It's not really anything great, I guess, because I'm limiting things, but it has to be done. So don't hate me. That reminds me. Ow. Need to do something about the ore. Not sure what to do on that though. Okay. What the hell's being? Oh. Let's get 6. I need one with 4. No. And it's got to be a newer one. Damn it. Those are old ones. I don't think I have anything. Oh, perfect. Alright, so this should allow me to add a new stat. Should. Unless I use... Unless my number's off. Ah! Oops. Which means it's right here. How is the length? Oh no. Oh, see, that's that empty slot. I think. So, we could probably just bump it up one. Damn it. It's too bad you can't just save. I might as well try the other ones while the game's playing, but it doesn't like that. Yeah, I'll try this one too. Wait, what does it not have? Strength? Okay, good, good. Oh shit, I forgot to look. Yay, it doesn't take essence. Okay, looks like it's working as intended, excluding the 4-stat issue. So we'll try that. Might as well try this one too. Ah, there's another thing I should... Let's see what happens if I... Oh, shit. What if I put one in the... Oh, no! Because strength would be allowed. What's it gonna do? Okay, okay. I can live with that. Yeah, that'll work. So when you're enchanting... see, I am allowed to put strength on because it came with strength. However, if you have one in there that the item does not have and it's already at its max, it's going to prevent you from re-rolling your strength. So just be aware. You'll have to make sure you don't have gems in there that it cannot have. And that's cool with me. Makes sense. Okay, let's exit, stop, tab, save, compile, and play again. Is that all the way? And then I guess I need to finish descriptions. See, I know the description thing isn't anything important to the player, but it is important. And, you know, since I already... A lot of times, and I think this kind of drives people nuts, but it's the way I end up working a lot of times is just I'm sitting there, I'm thinking about a problem, and then all of a sudden I think of a solution. I'm like, oh, that's how you fix that, and so I just do it, even though there's other things that are more important. If I have a good idea and a good solution to something, and I know I can just boom, 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 do it, then I go for it. Because I tell you, a lot of programming, majority of programming is thinking, and it's logic, you know. Typing it is not the hard part. Knowing what functions to use is not the hard part. Or knowing the functions is not the hard part, but knowing which ones to use in what order is the hard part. You gotta throw down logically. So that's why I'm going to do the item description optimization. Even though I totally am going to look at the respawn of the enemy situation, because see, it just worked right there. It seems like it's only broken in public zones. Private zones, or instance, in other parts is working. But it even looks like it works in the public zone for me. I don't know. Okay, it allowed it. I think we're good. Now, I can re-roll it again, yeah. Okay, cool, cool. Worked, now. Let's throw something in there it doesn't have. Strength. Cool. That is working. Oh no! Oh, wait, what? I lied to you. Why the hell did that? Oh no. Okay, this is a complicated one. I don't know if it's even worth explaining, but if the gem that comes before the one that can't be added, if so, this gem in order is it comes before the strength gem, so it's allowing me to add that stat, but not this stat. So it passes through, and let me just double check. But if I switch those gems around, I think it prevents it from adding that stat. Ugh, confusing stuff. Alright, so we're at 169. 15 essence. Good. Took the proper amount. Switch the places. It did fail. Correct. And then it said max stats. Okay, so now... Correct. Yeah, so that's gonna confuse some people, but the order of the gems that you have in the thing is gonna affect it, but I ain't fixing it. Sorry, guys. That's complicated, unnecessary, low priority. Okay, I'm gonna kill the stream, get making a build, and I'll push it. So within an hour or so, I'll pop in and tell you guys 5 minutes, server reset, blah blah blah. Thanks for hanging out, dudes. Love you guys. See ya. Boy.